so cringe. Picking your choice of shows to play takes everything you got. With Amazon Prime, Sky and Netflix, there sure is a lot. Wouldn't you like some tips and hints? Sometimes you wanna know which are the best in shows and games, and the ones that are just lame. You need to hear some real views that are no holds barred, not tame. You just need Gaz, Carl, Chris, Adam and James.
Hello and welcome to episode 14 of the Boss Battle podcast. My name is James, I'm your host. With me today I've got Carl.
Yo.
Or Carl L. And I've got Chris.
Hello.
I'm not going to say your silly name.
No.
Right then, welcome along. If you're watching us on YouTube, then hopefully we're recording this accurately and you'll be able to see us all for the first time. And if you're listening to us on the podcast services, then you'll have a full audio podcast to enjoy as we crack on with today's episode. We've got lots of stuff to cover today, so we're going to get fairly swiftly into it. We've got lots of bits of news to discuss. Game of Thrones premieres have been announced. Warner Brothers are doing something shocking to The Matrix. There's some gaming stuff to talk about. And we're going to be dipping into a number of trailers that have come out this week. So we've got Deadpool 2, GeoStorm, Colossal, Baby Driver and Coco. And we're going to dissect those a little bit later on. And we've also got 21 questions and quiz time as well. So let's get stuck into it. We'll start off with our usual intro, what we've been playing and watching this week. I'm going to go to Carl.
Hi.
What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? That is a very good question.
It's fresh in your mind,
I've
clearly.
been playing Horizon Zero Dawn.
Which
I
we've
like
talked
that.
at length about on the latest episode of Button Mashing.
Yeah?
So episode 4, if people want to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
So what type of game it is for an ignorant like me?
It is a story game, an adventure game, effectively.
Okay, like a
Slash
role
RPG.
play type RPG.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's good. It's like a post-apocalypse, and it's quite difficult to describe in like an in-depth kind of way because you
Yeah.
can give a lot of it away.
Okay.
The story was I completed the game because I played it non-stop.
Yes, fair play.
But
I
you're
still
basically this person who her name's Aloy.
Yeah.
It's a post-apocalyptic world. Nature's basically taken over.
Yeah.
There's ruins of the old metal world, they call it, of
Okay.
a near future from ours. And there's different tribes around this. They don't actually call it Earth or anything. They don't actually say what it's actually called.
Right.
It's basically repopulated, isn't it?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
1,000 years after whatever went wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Earth has been repopulated and we've basically gone back to the Stone Age in essence.
Okay, so it's like
All
caveman
but,
type.
yeah, so it's that
Wow,
kind of
okay.
thing. But then your character just starts to discover the old technological world and the world you're in is inhabited by robot dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds ridiculous. So it's a
yeah.
big open world, robot dinosaurs, you fire arrows to kill them. It's bizarre, but it's really good. I haven't got into the story yet. I'm about 9 or 10 hours in.
Yeah.
Carl's finished it, so he knows where it goes. I know
I know
that
exactly where it goes. And
I'm-
it'll make an amazing film.
I just know it's really intriguing. It's really good. So if you want to know what we thought of that, then you'll have to listen to episode 4 of Button Mashing, Chris.
Oh, I might just
Go,
do that.
go and do that, Chris.
Yeah.
What else have you been up to, Carl?
A little bit of NBA.
For a change.
Just getting some more my team points on my team. Buying a couple of players. Just been doing that, keeping up. Because there's weekly events that you can do, which give you these tokens towards a new player that you can just have. So I've just been doing those.
Making noises into my glass there. Apologies.
Purple running.
Yeah.
And anything else? Me and Vicky have finished the last season of, well, not the last season, but the latest season of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Which
I've
I've
heard
not watched
good
any
things
of. I was
about
going to say,
that.
yeah, you're the only one watching that, I think.
It's the longest running
Really?
sitcom TV series in history, sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Okay, why sort of?
Well, I think
How many seasons
not
is
as
it?
many seasons, but as length. So from
Right.
start to finish.
So how many seasons?
There's been, I think the last season was the 13th season.
Jesus. How has it gone that long and I've never ever heard of it or really
Oh,
watched
they
it?
had quite a.
I've only heard of it
couple
through
of
you
years
though. I've
break.
literally seen it nowhere. I've never seen it on
Well,
TV.
we only came across it by chance on Netflix, and
So is it American primarily?
Yeah.
Was it ever aired here on anything other than Netflix?
No,
That's probably why I've
not
never
that
heard
I
of it.
know of. FX it's done by FX, so you do get FX over here.
Oh, okay, so it's buried in a Sky channel somewhere.
yeah.
It's got 114, something like that.
114.
Something like that.
I'd love it if that's the actual number.
I think it is
would
close
love
to
Is
it.
it really?
Something like that.
Okay, and then the other thing we both did yesterday was we went to see Kong Skull Island.
We did.
We're not allowed to talk about it because
No, I
you haven't seen it yet. You'll see it next week.
Yes.
So what we'll probably do, I think, on the next podcast is have a bit of a spoiler,
okay.
spoiler chat. We said we wouldn't say anything or give anything away or raise or lower your expectations. So
Oh, so don't even give like a star rating.
we're never going to
okay.
do that. We're going to
Alright.
steer clear of you anything because
Alright.
we don't want to
Mhm.
skew your view going into
Fair
it.
enough.
So yeah.
Like
So what
it.
you think of it next week, and we'll chat about that on episode 15 and
Sounds
see
good.
what we thought. Cool. Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it.
And Christopher, what have you been doing?
I feel like I'm a bit behind the times here, but on my commute, as you know, get through a lot of box sets, and I've revisited The Sopranos, which I tried to watch about a year ago, and sort of enjoyed it slowly and sort of lost momentum with it and interest in it, and I decided trying to watch it in my new capacity, having the couple of hours each way commuting, might work better, and it has really got into it, very episodic and things. I like my gangster sort of culture, I like the Scorsese films, things like that.
Gangster, Chris.
That's pretty.
I'd imagine if we were watching now, they're going, he looks like
Having watched The Sopranos, I'm convinced that'd have been good because they do a lot of it. No, because hear me out.
That's
A lot of it
strange
is to do
statement.
with like a lot of it's like collections, collecting money for the mafiosi and stuff. I'm good at maths, good number,
Okay.
and I'm hard as nails, don't I?
You're hard as nails, that's true. You
The
have a,
people who do
you have a
it-
shaved
That's
head,
pretty
you're
much
hard as nails.
gangster.
Yeah.
The accountants
Territory.
for the mafia and stuff, that they don't class them as gangsters. They just the accountants.
Yeah, they cook the books like in
Yeah, but that
he
doesn't
says in
that doesn't make 'em a
Las
gangster.
Vegas. They call me the cook, so I cook the book. That's a good film, that is. And then the other thing I've started to watch is Broadchurch Series 3.
Yeah.
Series 1 was brilliant. Series 2 was a bit of a letdown. And so far, it's only 3 episodes in, but I feel like they've got a good story again, maybe hopefully rekindling the sort of form of the Series 1, but we'll see. It could fade.
Because I know it's got that fella in that I can't even remember his name.
David Tennant.
It's got David Tennant in. It's got
no,
the
it's
first
with the guy
season
I
had
think
the guy from Harry Potter, the caretaker. He's in it as well in Series 1.
No, it's the other guy.
No.
Pauline Quirk was in it, Series
The
1.
gay
I don't know
guy.
who.
It's in Arrow.
Oh, I don't watch Arrow.
Oh, crap.
No, that's not his name.
He was in the Doctor Who spin-off, wasn't he?
Yes.
Oh,
That's
God,
what I thought
what's his
Broadchurch
name?
was. Was a Doctor Who spin-off.
No, you're thinking of...
I know what you're
the show
thinking of.
Touchwood. That's
Yeah.
Touchwood,
Very different show, I imagine. Yeah.
One grounded in the reality, one sci-fi. It's
Yeah.
basically the same thing. Well, David Tennant was the Doctor, so I can see the confusion.
What was his name then?
John...
I know
John
the guy.
Barrowman.
That's
Barrowman.
it.
There
Yeah.
we go. Yeah.
Teamwork.
Awesome. You don't get to join in, Chris.
No.
Okay.
Can't laugh at something without tripping over
Yeah.
1,000 wines.
This is true. I can't get up and move throughout this episode for fear of falling over something.
Drink some more water, James.
Okay, so Sopranos and Broadchurch Series
Yeah.
3. And you've not done a movie, have you? So there's
I've
no
not-
movie review
no,
this week.
I've
For anyone
been-
who tunes in solely for that.
I've been a very loyal friend because I'd sort of promised to see Kong with one of my friends, and we were due to see it week before last, and he wasn't very well, been off work, and he unfortunately that illness sort of prolonged into this week. And then, as you know, you kindly offered me the opportunity to see it last night, and I thought, I can't really do that because I sort of said I'll see it next week. So
Because you've never seen a film twice,
Yeah, I
have
was about to say, you
I
couldn't-
know.
You
I
wouldn't have
know.
known.
To be honest, I was also like conscious that I was getting up at
School
early
night.
for school night, so I
You've just lost
thought-
all that gangster credibility through being on
And
video.
also, you
Did I ever have it? That's
You
amazing.
didn't
For
answer
about
my
a minute or
question
two.
about
That's
Broadchurch.
all right. I'll take that. You what? Sorry.
You didn't answer my question
This
about
is true, we
Broadchurch.
didn't answer his question.
What was the question?
What is it?
What is it here?
So Broadchurch is it's a series set in. I think the town's meant to be Broadchurch. Is in Dorset, it's by the coast. So it's like it's very picturesque actually. It's got a lot of tourist tints on the back of it. 'Cause it's like really pretty with like the cliffs next overlooking the beach and stuff. So literally like full of tourists now. But the first series was basically grounded on a child's body being found, and then it was a mystery of who murdered the child. So
And
it's very different to a
so it's a
sci-fi.
So is season 2...
Sort of, yeah.
Is season 2 another murder mystery?
No,
or is it-
season 2 has another mystery to it, but it then
Yeah.
has the court case following the end of
Okay,
series
so
1,
still-
and that was what really lost its credibility because it
And
was
what
just stupid.
Series 3 then, is that another mystery?
And then series
or-
3, so the one that's the the people that are linking it really. So it's another mystery in that town, and what's linking it is David Tennant and I can't remember the female actress's name. She's really good. She's in Hot Fuzz. You know the woman in Hot Fuzz that's like does all the innuendo.
I know what you mean. I don't know.
She's in loads of things. She's really good.
Yeah. You're used to seeing her in comedy.
It's something Coleman. Anyway, but they're the detectives in it, so they sort of link. They're the continuity, I guess.
If you've seen the advert, you'll know the fact is referred to.
Olivia Colman. She's in loads of stuff. I think it's Olivia Colman. Yeah.
Knowing her name doesn't help.
No,
I know the face.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Have you watched Broadchurch?
No, I recorded series 1 on generic recording device, Sky Plus, and then
other recording devices are available,
and you could get Virgin or no. So I didn't watch it.
Okay.
No, downloaded and as usual ended up deleting it because I was so far behind by the time it finished. I was like, I can't bother now. So it went the way of most of my TV watching ambition.
So, what have you been doing this week?
What have I been doing? So
well linked, Carl. Well linked.
Well linked. So I did Kong, and obviously a little bit more Horizon Zero Dawn, although nowhere near as much as I would like or you. I picked up a Nintendo Switch. So
You bought a new piece of technology.
I bought a new piece of technology after
really?
said that I wouldn't.
After spending 3 weeks telling people he's not going to.
Yeah.
And I called it from day.
Yeah.
I think we all could have called it from day one, yeah.
Yeah, basically, if you go back to the last 2 or 3 podcasts, either on this podcast or the Button Mashing podcast, I pretty much said every week, I don't buy one. And then I bought one.
His excuse to me was, I just had a spare £270 lying around.
Cost me more like $350 by the time I finished buying
Well,
games.
yeah, I wasn't going to
But
say that.
anyway.
And I definitely wasn't going to say that to Laura.
Was it down the side of the sofa, or where was this money?
It was in the bank.
Oh, right.
Thanks very much.
Secret bank.
I was going to say, what a weird question. Do you want my bank account number live on the podcast as well?
Yes, please.
So,
And then the last 3 digits security.
There's nothing in it now, thanks to the Nintendo Switch. So I bought Switch. I bought 1-2 Switch. I bought Zelda. I bought Snipper Clips. If you want to know what I think of it, then you're better off having listened to Button Mashing episode 4. Okay. We've talked it to death. I don't want to do that again here. So
just generally, then pleased with the purchase.
Yeah, I am. I played it properly commuting for the first time yesterday to London and back.
Yeah.
And honestly, the commute just went like that. It was like, boom, gone, Switch. I'm not
doing that. Look at the Switch. Should do that as marketing gimmick. Yeah.
That is their marketing gimmick.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, no,
see,
the marketing committee is switching from...
No, but that's what they do. They do the click noise.
Yeah.
I can honestly say that marketing degree wasn't wasted because I haven't seen that campaign, but I thought of that myself.
No, it's called the Switch. And even when you dock... So this is funny. When you click the Joy-Cons into the device, so for your benefit, it's like a small
I've seen that.
tablet.
Remember we watched the video a while
small
ago.
tablet, little controllers that clip on the side. When you click them in, they do make a satisfying click anyway, but they felt the need when it's turned on to enhance that by putting an audible click into the device. So when you click it in, the actual click promo noise, that sort of click from the adverts, actually plays. It's really random. So when you click them in, as well as the actual physical real life click,
got an audio.
They've got a little file that goes click.
Have you had
really unnecessary.
Have you had any issues taking them off?
No,
because some people were. Well, I think I watched a video of someone had to look on the internet, had to take them off because he felt like he was being too forceful with it.
No,
some people.
That was the guy from my gen.
That was probably
some people haven't clicked with them. Then no.
Fucking hell. Where has it gone? Where's it gone?
There we go.
Top right.
It had to happen.
It did have to happen.
Yeah.
We've got a visual one now. Just going to roll some hay across the screen. That's brilliant.
Oh, thanks for that. I've got a vacuum again now.
Vacuum the match from you, and then you'll be alright.
But I can't remember what we were saying now. Oh, anyway, I still can't remember. I've said anyway, and I don't remember.
It was some sort of Christian joke about it. So I didn't.
You put me off now. Look, I was about to make an honest point, and I can't remember what it was. What were we saying?
Something like the Switch and the.
Made a click joke. Oh, yeah, that was it. How hard it is. So on and off the screen, it's dead easy. There's a small button on the back. You push it, it slides. They're very, very easy. Where I have had problems is the wrist straps.
Oh, okay.
Those are very stiff. So when you get them on, and I think everyone who's played it with me so far has got to hand it back to me at that point when that removal process is required because they're too frightened of pulling them off and breaking it. It isn't. It's more that they're fiddly. So trying to hold the pad without pressing any of the buttons, which obviously does something on the screen, and then slide these things off is a pain. And it's only a problem in 1-2 Switch because 1-2 Switch will have a game where you don't want it on. And then it will say, oh, this game's quite physical. Put it back on again. You might throw it across the room. And then it will go, oh, this next game doesn't need it on. Take it off again. And you find yourself back
across the room.
Does it give you the
do people do that with gaming equipment?
Yes.
Yes. Carl,
Not
it
quite
is.
across the room.
But
Okay.
it's not because of anger in the 1-2
Okay.
switches case. It's like the Wii. It's that whole
Yeah.
motion-based game.
Does it give you the little disclaimer beforehand? Don't throw this at people. And be
No,
careful?
because they're much lighter and smaller than the other ones. If you threw it at a
Well, it's
TV,
easier to
chances
throw
are-
at someone.
yeah, but they're going to do less damage.
Okay.
Realistically.
That's right out, surely.
Well, no, I don't know. It'd be a hell of a shot to take your eye out, I think. You try it if you want on
Depends
episode
if you get some
episode
ninjas.
15. If this video works, Carl will try to take our eyes out with Nintendo Joy-Cons. Anyway,
That's evidence.
that's on camera.
That'll
Well,
be the skull bashing
anyone
edition,
who,
won't it,
who
instead of
watched
button
the, a
bashing.
couple episodes ago is expecting Chris to come in as a tan naked Oscar at some point, aren't they?
No, that was rigged, and you know it.
Anyway, right, let's get on to the news then. That was everything we've been doing this week. So I'm going to hand to Chris first for our Game of Thrones news. that you added.
Yes. So I'm very excited about
I
this.
think we're all
As are
excited
you
about
all
this.
excited about this,
Yeah.
and most of the world, or certainly the TV viewing world, is excited about it. So
I can think of someone who's even more excited about it
who's that?
because of another piece of news, but I'll let you.
Okay.
First and I'll add you
Oh.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's officially been announced. I'm sure everyone knows by now, listening to this, that the premiere for season 7 of Game of Thrones is the 16th of July. I presume at this stage that obviously that'll be America, I would have thought, but I presume they'll do a similar thing where we'll also get it the same.
It was
Yeah,
only,
it'll be
it was
Sunday
only the
night.
Yeah.
day after, less than
Yeah.
24 hours.
Exactly. I would have thought
So,
that that Sky will pay that fee, whatever it's again. Do you know what I
They've
mean?
got to at this point, haven't they?
The advertising revenue must be brilliant for that.
Well,
wouldn't
they would lose so much money and so many viewers if they
Oh, if
allowed people to sort of, if they allowed that gap to be too big, people just download it.
I'd be with BT now for the extra football and stuff. It wasn't the fact that you lose Sky Atlantic and you're going to get Sky Atlantic on Sky. So yeah, that's how big Game of Thrones is to me and some of the shows on it. So yeah, very excited
we need to
about
talk
that.
about Sky now afterwards, and if that's really
Yes.
concerned, because you get that for £6 a month. But anyway, carry on.
Yeah. So oh, good point. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very excited about it, and I'm trying to avoid, apart from obviously seeing that news, I'm actually avoiding any link I see that says rumours. I don't want to know. Don't want to know. And I like the fact that the teaser on Sky, I don't know if you've seen that, it reveals nothing. It's basically old quotes from the show.
Yes,
and
you
it just
you
says
described it, I think.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Do more of that. Don't need to see clips.
Yeah, no, I
Fine.
couldn't agree more. And I think the only thing that I'm interested in for this season, apart from what you're going to talk about in a second, is
So I'm not going to talk about
we've
it.
put a note down here about
Oh.
the fact that the final season's now been confirmed to be 6 episodes long.
Yeah.
I think this one was 8.
Yeah, it's definitely
'Cause
shorter.
they've all been 10 up to now, haven't
Yeah.
they? Then they confirmed this is season 7, isn't it? It was going to be 8,
Yes.
and then season 8 was going to be 6
I'm
episodes.
all for that. I like that. Keep
Yeah, well, it
going
makes
on.
sense. So what you don't want of season 5 for me felt like there were some episodes which were just a little bit.
Yeah. A bit.
Come on, then let's do something now. Yeah, like when are we actually going to get to some story? It did feel a little bit like that. So yeah, if they're going to go for 8 real big bang episodes, I'd rather that than 2 hours of dribble in the middle.
Hell yeah.
And then same for the final season. You know, I guess it's probably budget as well, because at this point we're talking climactic battles, aren't we? We're talking,
True.
you know, the White Walkers, you know, huge
Although,
wars.
regardless of the budget, if they said we can write 20 episodes just for the advertising revenue, they get, I reckon they'd do it. But I think it's more the
Probably,
creative.
But
They
it's
wanna
the time
keep
it takes and everything else.
Yeah,
Because this is
true.
going to be delayed, isn't it? The last few years it's been April. This year it's July, isn't
That's
it?
been deliberate because of they've had to film
Seasonal,
more
isn't it?
winter. Yeah.
seasonal,
So do you think season 8 is we're going to see season 8 shorter? Well, it's obviously going to be shorter because it's only 6 episodes long.
You mean
Is it
soon?
gonna be
Sooner.
No,
I don't
yeah.
think we will. I
You've
think we
got to
will.
think of
I don't think we will.
they don't want to compete with Westworld, which will probably be coming out January, February
I don't
20.
think-
No, I
I
think
don't
it'll be
think
a
they're worried
year's
about
time. I
competing
think
with
it'll be
Westworld.
next July, the following July.
I can't
basically.
imagine
Another
I think so.
I don't think anyone's sitting in the Game of Thrones production team thinking, "Ooh, we don't want to clash with Westworld."
No.
Well, I don't know.
The same channel anyway, so it's
there was
irrelevant.
a certain amount of.
Westworld's not got the following Game of Thrones. has
No,
it?
surely not.
If you've got to sit down
and
and someone says, "Carl, you can only watch one of these. You're big in Game of Thrones." You know you are. If
I
you're
did
not,
like
you
Westworld.
need
I
to
did like
leave the
Westworld.
podcast now.
Well, have you watched Westworld?
No,
Shut
it's
up.
not as good as Game of Thrones.
I watched it.
Shut up. Love it. Shot me down. Yeah, so that's coming in 16th of July then.
Yes.
Excited for that.
I know.
I'm very excited for that.
Another reason to look forward to the summer as well as, the summer itself.
This is true. So on to the next bit of news
Summers in
then.
England are so good.
Might be.
It's going to be the hottest one ever.
Yeah, I've heard on the Daily Mail said. So.
Yeah. We're going to get snow as well this year, and that didn't happen. So, anyway, on to our next bit of news. Something to be less excited for, or maybe excited for, depending on your viewpoint. I'm going to put my stall out now and say less excited.
Mm-hmm.
Warner Brothers are considering a return to The Matrix. This broke earlier this week. So they haven't said how, they haven't said what they're going to do yet. They've discussed some options. So they've said it might be a reboot. They've said it might be a spin-off from that world, a bit like Star Wars has done by venturing. Am I keeping you up?
Mm-hmm. No.
Live on camera.
I know, yeah.
Oh,
I
so
can't really
bored.
control that though. No, it's
I'm
not
joking.
5 a.m. start. It's not good.
And
I haven't even got a child.
they've talked about the idea that they might do a sort of a Morpheus, the early years spin-off, discovering the Matrix. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know which one of those I'm more excited about. I think initially I was absolutely against a reboot, but
the problem is Morpheus early years, who would you get to play?
well, it'll be anyone black. Well, this is the thing. So that sounded racist. I didn't mean racist. But no, it's not going to be Lawrence Fishburne. But the only person that has been in any way linked to this story is it Michael B. Jordan? Is that his name?
Yes.
I might have made that.
He was in Fantastic Four.
He'd probably
Creed.
forget that one, but Creed, I think. So he's been linked with it. So you could imagine. I suppose that's probably where the stories come from.
And he was really good in Chicago Bulls as well.
Maybe he's Morpheus.
He's too black.
He's too black.
Yeah.
And I'm the one with the questionable statement.
I'm just going with your...
yeah, let's run with it. No,
this will be the first and last podcast.
No, I think... I don't know, I mean, if you remember right back to before The Matrix actually was done, they wanted Will Smith to play Neo. Yeah. That was the original casting choice, was Will Smith, and he didn't want it. Thank God, because Keanu Reeves would have done better. Yeah. I don't know... So let's break it down and see the two things then. So first of all, a reboot. What do we think? How precious is this to you? To me and Carl, I think I'm talking fairly here. We're both pretty big Matrix fans. It's a big part of growing up.
I was a massive Matrix 1 fan, and then the sequels killed my love a little bit, especially the second one. I think that's
true for most people.
But I loved
especially
the first one when it came out.
The third one was the worst, wasn't it?
The second one was the anomaly of a. Sorry, that was ridiculous. The architect's just the one of the worst scenes ever on film.
But it did spawn a fantastic.
It did spawn a brilliant MTV.
It really did.
Pissed out, didn't it?
I mean, Monica Bellucci was in it though, so it wasn't all bad.
Yeah, look at it now though. Yeah.
Oh, I definitely still would.
No.
Bond. Okay.
No, it's far too old.
There we go. Sorry, I'm lowering the tone here anyway.
This become like
Monica,
if you podcast movie tin.
Well, I think it's not going to
Monica Bellucci, swipe right.
Is the Wachowski siblings, they're calling them now.
Yes.
They're saying it's not going to have the Wachowskis in it because I think
that's right.
There was an interview with Keanu Reeves.
They haven't said that conclusively. They're not currently attached to it.
No.
But then they asked Keanu Reeves during the John Wick whether he'd be interested in going back, and he said he would, but only if the Wachowskis were involved and the script was right.
Yeah, I think what I read, or something that I read, there was a little snippet of them saying that they were going to reboot it, or they were going to do something with the Matrix. The Wachowskis weren't going to be involved, but they were going to be asked beforehand.
I think they've said that they won't do anything with the Matrix without the Wachowskis' blessing. Which I don't know if they have to do that. I'm assuming they own it.
No, I don't know.
I don't think they've got the rights anymore.
One of the interesting things I saw was someone said it needs freshening up. They need they should get the guys who directed John Wick to do it.
Yeah,
which I don't disagree with. But what that person who wrote that doesn't realise is the people who directed John Wick were the people who directed Keanu Reeves' action stunts in The Matrix in the first place. So they're not really coming out with a fresh set of eyes. They were involved in the first 3 films.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really be fussed if the Wachowskis were doing it or not, really, because, I mean, what have they done since the first Matrix, other than the second and third?
But that is their baby.
They have done. There was Speed Racer. There was one with that awful one.
Didn't they do Jupiter Ascending,
which
was really bad. Have you seen that?
No, I saw the trailer and I was like, no.
You know, like Channing Tatum, Mila Kunis, and
the guy from Fantastic Beasts.
Eddie Redmayne playing a bad guy.
Yeah, and he was so bad.
Yeah, it was just
such
shouting
a bad
all
film.
the time.
Yeah,
it was just the
so
premise of
bad.
it was just the story was just bizarre.
I didn't like the trailer.
Sean
to
Bean
be
as
honest.
well, and guess what?
Guys,
he died.
Channing Tatum looked like some sort of dog man.
Yeah, because that's what it was.
It was like a dog man. It was really weird.
It was bad.
Absolutely messed up, that film was.
All right.
Don't watch it. But yeah. Okay, so reboot. Do we want a reboot? Would you prefer, let me ask you something, would you prefer a reboot or some sort of weird prequel or side story?
I'd have a side story. I don't want a reboot. Sort of like they did with the Animatrix, but more as part of the film.
I see. When given those two choices, I'm the opposite. I'm reboot.
Oh, you reboot? Are you?
Not only because I hate the idea they might do a prequel. I hate the idea of a Morpheus discovering the Matrix, because to me, it's the same problem I have with all prequels. It's a personal thing.
You know where it's leading.
I don't like any story. I can't get into a story when I know the ending. And I don't have to know that particular story arc's ending to know that character's going to go on. There's no risk. There's no danger to him. He ain't going to die.
But what could they do with the reboot?
Well, they can start the whole thing again, can't they? If you think about it now...
But you're still coming towards to the same ending, aren't you?
Well, no. Well, it depends, doesn't it? I mean, they literally could... if they reboot it, they don't have to end it. They don't even have to give... They don't have to have a one's journey, do they? They can do anything. If they reboot the Matrix, they're basically saying... They're going with the universe, the idea that humans are plugged into computers. But there's loads of stuff. If you think about it now, if you think about the technology they had then, how connected people were or weren't at that point. I mean, we had mobile phones, the old little slidey phone. That film spawned awesome. Yeah, it was great. Little flick phones, completely pointless. But you think about it now, you think about your iPhones or your whatever phone you choose to have. You are connected all the time now. Like, you're permanently connected to the internet. The internet wasn't really a big deal in the Matrix the first time round. It was an emerging technology in that respect. You know, it was for hackers, like Neo was. Realistically, now any one of you could be the one, couldn't you? Like, I just think it's quite an interesting idea to sort of place it in the new modern day. I was dead against it when I read it, but then I thought, well, if I've got to have one or the other, I think I'd prefer a reboot. Personal choice.
You make a good argument, yes.
Anyone else got anything to add on Warner Brothers butchering the Matrix?
So, what would you prefer, reboot?
I don't. To be honest, I don't really have a strong view either way. Maybe because I lost that attachment to it. Like with the sequels. So
if you've not rewatched the first one in isolation now,
I really should do.
Enjoyed it.
To be honest,
I can watch it
having
over and over.
Done a bit of research for one of the other things we might talk about later. It did make me think I should really go back and watch the first one, because I did love it at the time. I watched it quite a few times.
I can watch that film over and over again, and I don't think you need to. If you really dislike the second and third,
you don't have to.
Those ever exist.
Absolutely,
it's a bit like Anchorman. I don't.
King
really
and the Crystal Skull.
And there's many films now that in recent years have had a sequel, an unnecessary sequel.
Absolutely,
and you can just forget about them and enjoy the originals.
Yeah, true. Okay
then, so Carl, coming your way this time. So there's a couple of topics you've got on the list here, gaming related. So Chris, try and stay with us if you can.
What?
At this point, if you're not interested in gaming but continue to watch this podcast on YouTube, just watch Chris.
Just watch
and
Chris.
See if he can stay interested
Definitely.
For the duration of these two topics. So, Carl,
what Mega Drive games are you talking about,
Final
Carl?
Fantasy 15 first. Mega Drive.
Final Fantasy 15 for the Mega Drive,
yeah.
Yes. So the new DLC was announced. It's coming out on March 28th.
on the morrow.
Yeah, it's basically a side story. Basically, in Chapter 6 of Final Fantasy 15, one of your party members, Gladios, he just leaves for a bit, goes and do something, and it's basically a side quest for him, which is basically him to do with Gilgamesh. So he's going after Gilgamesh.
And Gilgamesh
that's all we've been told so far. It's just like a boss. He's been a boss in a couple of the Final Fantasy 15s, and he was also a summon.
Was he?
But obviously, we don't know his part in Final Fantasy 15 because it's not out yet.
What did he look like? What did he look like in a Final Fantasy? I might remember.
He's like a samurai type thing, and he's got something to do with money.
And is that paid DLC or free?
That's paid. That's the first paid DLC.
And will you be buying it?
I think my deluxe edition of the
did you buy the full blown? Did you?
Comes with it anyway, I believe. There obviously there was a free DLC with the there was like a golden saucer type bit. Going back to Final Fantasy 7, there was like a fair or something in one of the, I think Alta Messia, I can't remember. It's been that long since I played it now.
What, Final Fantasy 15 or Final Fantasy 7?
No, Final Fantasy 15. It hasn't been that long since I played Final Fantasy 7. Right?
You did play for 24 hours solid though, so.
Yeah, and that was quite a while ago now. Yeah, that's the other DLC coming out for it.
Okay.
And I shall probably play that and be giving some thoughts on that.
Interesting. And more DLC?
Not
game?
DLC.
It is.
Well, no, because you're not downloading it. It's there anyway.
Is it? On the disc?
What?
Part of an update, won't it? Yeah. Surely that's going to be part of it.
Well, it's an update. It's obviously not on the disc, but...
It's DLC, isn't it? It's downloadable content. That's what DLC stands for.
Well, you don't get a choice to download it. You have to have it.
But you have to download it. So it's downloadable content. It doesn't matter whether you buy it or not. It's still DLC.
No, because I don't think... I'm pretty sure Overwatch doesn't work like that, because
comments
Obviously, that
below.
will come down.
Is Orisa DLC or not? Anyway,
But
go on.
Orisa comes down with a new patch update for Overwatch because that does all the changes with it as well.
How'd you get that?
He downloads to you,
So it's downloadable content.
but it's potato.
Anyway, what is Orisa and tell us a bit.
She's the new Overwatch character. She's a robot tank, similar to Reinhardt in a way. She's basically got a shield that she can project on the floor, and she has an ability which shoots out a ball of blob, and it sort of
Ball
attracts.
of blob.
Yeah,
Is that how they
blob
describe
of
it
a
in the press
ball.
release?
No. And you shoot it out, you press it again, and anyone that does by it gets attracted to it, so they get moved towards it. And she also has like an armor ability as well, where she's basically just comes not invulnerable, but she comes she got shielded for a while.
What class type is
She's
she?
a tank.
She's a tank.
She's a tank, yeah, she's massive.
Okay.
And she's out on Monday along with all the different changes. I've not played her because I only have it on the Xbox. But anyone who plays it on PC, it's part of the PTR at the moment where they can just get the public to test it, and then they make the changes and stuff on Monday when it gets released.
Okay. Cool. You still with us?
I am, yeah.
We're off the gaming now.
I'm
look.
actually. My ears pricked up when you mentioned PC because I'm surprised in this day and age with how online and everything the consoles are that PC gaming's still
PC gaming's massive.
Oh yeah,
Big
PC
thing,
bigger,
yeah.
bigger now than it's ever been. Yeah.
surprising.
Yeah. PC gamers don't tend to
Go
look
to
favourably
consoles.
on consoles either.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. And that's the end of your gaming bit. So if
Yeah.
you want more gaming, then you need button mashing episode 4.
I thought I'd keep it.
We've kept it fairly light today, so as we're not to lose Chris. So the next thing on the list, and this is something I added, and this was announced, I think today actually, or
I think-
re-announced today.
Yeah, because
It's a weird one.
It was spoken about.
This was announced.
previously.
This was announced before they canned. So let's just say what it is first. Sony have announced their Venom movie for 2018. Bizarrely, it's not linked to the Tom Holland Spider-Man universe that they're now creating,
Yeah.
which seems strange, but probably
Well-
not a surprise because they announced this back when they announced Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 4. Was it Insidious? No,
Insidious
Sinister
6,
6.
yeah.
Sinister 6 wasn't it in Spider-Man?
Insidious 6 was the cartoon version from the 90s,
okay.
and I think Sinister 6 is the actual.
Yeah, so that one,
Yeah.
and then they announced Venom, and they were going to have this Venom spin-off, and that was one of the things I was most excited about. And then, of course, the Amazing Spider-Man went away. Marvel did the deal; they're rebooting him again. But this Venom movie, there's not a lot of info out there at the moment. They've just announced it for 2018, which is not that far away, really. You
No,
know, that's
not the
in
grand
terms of
scheme of
movie
things.
announcements. Yeah,
No.
so it's kind of come out of nowhere. But they're looking for it to form its own standalone brand in the way that Spider-Man has, and I'm not sure how that you can do that really because
I'm not sure if it's a case that we're going to release this Venom thing, and we're going to see how well it does. If it does well, then we'll try and link it to Tom Holland and the other Marvel people.
yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't see how you can have a Venom story
Spider-Man.
without Spider-Man
No,
because his origins are linked directly to Spider-Man.
Exactly.
So I don't know how they're going to do that. I mean, you know of Venom. Do you
Yeah.
know much about his backstory?
I only know really that what you'll probably hate. Obviously, the Spider-Man 3. Yeah. So I know.
Yeah.
I know they didn't. That's not.
But that's not a million
faithful
miles
to
off.
it, but,
well, no, it's not a million miles off. To be fair, the original Venom is a symbiote, this like alien life form that comes back to Earth following a space venture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's brought back on a rock. I don't know how. Eventually, it makes its way onto Spider-Man. However, it does it. It gives him like his black suit. It enhances his powers, but it also gives him a dark side. He eventually sheds it, and at the point of shedding it, he doesn't realise, but he sheds this suit, and it makes its way onto a guy called Eddie Brock, who is the guy. He's a photojournalist that's constantly getting outdone by Peter Parker with his Spider-Man photographs. He's bitter about Spider-Man. He's bitter with Peter. He gets the suit, and then the symbiote effectively enhances his hatred for Spider-Man and turns him into, and it's taken with it some of Spider-Man's attributes and takes it a step further. And then, of course, it goes on and on to spawn Carnage and God knows what else. I think there's the ultimate Spider-Man. Venom is born out of an attempt to cure cancer, which is done by, I think, Peter Parker's dad.
Yeah.
And
I think it's Eddie Brock's dad.
I don't think it was Eddie Brock, was it? I thought it was...
Yeah,
Flash Thompson's dad, wasn't it?
No, it's Eddie Brock. Cause
Is it Eddie Brock? Is it?
The Ultimate Spider-Man game.
Okay. So either way, it's slightly different origin
Knowledge
story.
to you.
But geek. So it's born out of all of that. But I could imagine that I could have seen them going down that route when they were doing the Amazing Spider-Man, because obviously they queued up the end of the second film with Peter's dad might still be alive, or there's he's left in this underground lair and whatever.
Yeah.
So they could easily have gone on to say, oh, one of the things he was working was for a cure for cancer. They created this suit. Because they even referenced it. I'm sure in one of the video sequences from Amazing Spider-Man 2, one of the sort of Easter eggs.
Yeah.
In the background, there is there's some sort of canister or something related to Venom, which is a throw off to the comics. So people who knew the comics.
Is that when the Green Goblin goes down to get his?
I don't know if it was then or not, but there was certainly a point when in the background there was some reference made to this particular product that spawns Venom. So it kind of feels a bit like, well, we had this idea for a Venom movie, we still quite like it, but the universe we were going to build around is gone now. It doesn't really fit with the new one. Should we make it anyway? Yeah, make it anyway.
Because I think at the moment he's actually kind of a good guy, isn't he? I think he sort of flitters back and forth. He's a bit of an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Because I think he's got his own comic at the moment.
Yeah, I mean they've had loads of weird things. So this symbiote obviously is great for comic book writers because it's like a sort of I don't know how you describe it, kind of like a
symbiote.
Yeah, it's like a stretchy suit, a stretchy life form. Of course, you can throw that on anything, can turn that thing into a Venom version of whatever it was. So I think they've had like Venom Hulk before and all this sort of crazy stuff in the cartoons. But
have you seen the latest picture of the Hulk?
The Wolverine Hulk.
Yeah, that looks quite batshit crazy, doesn't it?
That's comic book only.
Oh right.
There's some link to Hulk X-Men, Hulk Wolverine.
Just like a completely
tie-in,
new type of universe type thing.
On that subject and of changes to characters, has everyone seen the new Thor look?
Yeah.
I quite like it. It's in line with the Ragnarok comics, though. He has that look in comics.
Well, that's fine. I still don't like it.
Okay. I don't mind it. I think it looks
not as sexy.
It's not as sexy. I thought
don't worry, he'll get his shirt off, I'm sure.
I was interested though, because it seems the more and more I hear about that film, the more and more it sounds like Planet Hulk.
Yeah. Well, I think the beginning
certainly sounds that way.
A lot of people are saying he's going to be Planet Hulk, which is going to be brilliant.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. But it looks like the reason Thor's look is dressed like that is because he's actually in the gladiatorial arena.
Either, has he? He's got these two
big swords,
sheath sword things.
Yeah.
Not sheath, but yeah.
So which looks interesting. So you wonder whether that's because Mjolnir's gone walkabouts. We're off on a tangent. Interested in the Venom movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I didn't have my cinema pass, I'm not sure, but because I got the cinema pass, it's a film
I want to be excited for it. And back when they announced it, I was like, yes, finally we're getting a Venom movie. The fact that it says nothing to do with the new Spider-Man universe has deflated me a little. I'm like, okay, well,
I know what you're saying.
Are we just going to get another bad Venom, which will then probably kill him from the movies for however long? Because for me, and we said this before, and probably on this podcast, in fact, Venom leads to Carnage. Carnage would be an amazing bad guy.
Well, Carnage might be the bad guy for that Venom movie.
Might well be, but I want to see Spider-Man and I want to see Venom team up after having spent half the movie battling to take down Carnage. That to me there's a really great story you could make there, and I think visually it could be brilliant. We've got the CGI now for it. I want to see that story told, but it doesn't sound like we're going to see that.
Because the Carnage one that I remember from the 90s cartoon was Doctor Strange, Venom, Carnage, and not Iron Man, the other one, War Machine.
Yes.
So that's
a cartoon.
You've got all those characters except for Carnage, sort of.
Yeah.
Which should be interesting.
And the final bit of news is coming to you, Carl. Iron Fist. So critically, not been overwhelmingly good reception to start with, but you've watched how many episodes now?
6. Yes, 6.
6. And your thoughts?
I like it. Now I might be a bit biased here because obviously I like my martial arts films. I was brought up watching Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan and that.
Karate Kid.
Makes it sound like he was raised in the Orient, doesn't it?
The Orient. I mean, I found it very similar to Daredevil to begin with. Just sort of the same sort of tone. There hasn't been as much action. I can see what they're saying that the first couple of episodes are a bit soap opera.
Yeah.
But then I think
there's a lot in court or something. I haven't read a lot, but there's something about too many scenes being in not court. Maybe it's not court. In a certain environment.
There's a lot of in like office.
Office, so maybe it's the office thing.
He's obviously he was the son of a company of called Rand Enterprises.
Right.
And obviously he goes missing, and his dad's friend
Arrow.
has got two a brother and a sister who he grew up with as well, and they take over the company and
Right.
stuff like that. I don't want to give too much away. Yeah, it's slow to begin with, but I think some of these TV shows are to build up to something, because it's not like a film where you can just go fight everyone, blah, blah, blah. There has been a lot of fighting there. I don't think... I will say that the choreography, from my point of view, hasn't been as good as Daredevil.
Which is odd, because you'd think they'd use the same teams.
Well, you would, but they won't be doing something else. You don't know these things.
Maybe.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. How many episodes are there in the whole season?
13.
Is it 12? Oh, so you're pretty much halfway then.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hmm. So would you say it's as bad as it seems to have been critically received so far?
No, but then I might be biased because I like my martial arts films.
Yeah. And did you see the lead guy, I don't know what his name is, come out in defence of it? And he apparently said, "Yeah, I'm not worried about what the critics say. This is for the fans." I was like,
yeah, I can kind of understand that. To a certain extent.
But you can't say that, can you?
But he said that
That's
and then deleted his Twitter, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because he said he's focusing on the defenders.
Of course he is. He's focusing on the paycheck. Okay, cool. So shall we crack on with our trailer talk then, our topic of the show?
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. So we're going to cover a few trailers here. Before we do, if you've got any news you want us to talk about or we haven't talked about, or you've got any views on what we've said, obviously you can have them in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're listening to us on a podcast service, then you can get in touch via Twitter at BossBattleNet, or you can email us at bossbattlenetwork@gmail.com. So let's get on with trailer talk then. We've got 5 trailers to discuss. Does anyone have a preference on where we start?
No. Go in the order they're on the screen. Why not?
Deadpool 2. So not really a trailer, the one as Chris hasn't seen. It's a teaser.
Yes.
So let just break it down really quickly. It's Deadpool strutting down the street in his normal attire, not in his outfit. He hears a commotion in an alleyway. An old guy's getting mugged.
Yep.
So he runs heroically to the nearest phone booth to get changed. And there's like a hysterical scene where he starts trying to get himself changed, and he rings the wardrobe guy and explains to him that he can't get into the outfit. And then by the time he gets out of the outfit, a gun goes off, and you see him kind of look as if to say, "Oh, I've wasted."
Yeah, he presses his butt cheeks to the window, and he's doing it while Superman's theme tune's playing.
It's very funny.
There's a theatre in the background that's playing Logan, obviously, because he said before Logan. And I think there's another couple of nods to it.
Yeah, so there's a couple of hints, isn't there? So there's a hint to Cable somewhere in there. I can't remember quite what that was, but there's also a hint to a character called Hope, who is, I think she technically is Cable's daughter, but it's a very strange storyline that she's born from. So I think she's in the graphic novel that you bought for me one birthday a while ago. It's X-Men versus the Avengers, I think, or something like that. And effectively what's happened is mutant kind has all but been wiped out, a bit like Logan.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a mutant born in however long.
Burn.
Hasn't been a mutant born for so long, and then Hope is born, and Xavier detects her. A little bit kind of like how Logan starts to play. So he detects her. They track down Hope. The Avengers go after as well, and obviously in comic book fashion it all escalates very quickly. But Cable basically pops up, takes Hope, and disappears.
Into time.
So I don't think it technically is his daughter, but he takes her off into the future to get her away from what's going on, to protect her. And then, obviously in real time for the people in the comic books, not long has passed. Then he returns and she's like a teenage girl, because obviously she's grown up and he's looked after her and he's kept her away from everyone.
Does Cable have the power to do that?
Cable has the power. He does. Oh, fuck it, I've got to play that for that. It's such a terrible joke. Oh my god!
I've had that in my head for about a minute. I just was waiting for the right moment.
So
I'm not sure it came.
For anyone who hasn't heard the podcast before, we do have a sort of drum roll for good jokes, but we don't often get to play them with Chris.
No.
But he might do one, and I'll get to play it at some point. So let's.
There'll be someone out there lolling at that, but no.
So Deadpool's out in 2018. Trailer was really funny. It tells us nothing about the film, obviously.
But it's a teaser, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's what I really liked about it is it's continuing that marketing journey from the first film, where obviously everything is just completely out there.
Yeah, if it ain't broke.
Yeah, and I think it works for me. Like I just thought that was fascinating.
I think it worked for the first one, considering the box office.
Well, yeah, definitely did. So Deadpool 2, 2018. The next one on our list, GeoStorm.
Yeah.
So Gerard Butler, disaster film. It's out the 20th of October. Do you care?
No.
I don't care, but
Yeah.
it's one of those films that you're just going to see, aren't you? Because
Yeah.
visually it's going to be great. Ironically, and I don't mean this as a joke, but it's not going to change your world, this sort of film, even though I've seen the stories, the world's changed. Yeah, it's not, that was... But it's not, but at the same time, I think it's probably quite watchable.
It's a car crash film, isn't it? You can't help but watch it. And I understand that. There was a storm one not far back.
Well, this is a bit different, isn't it? Because the trailer seems to suggest where everything we've had up to now is natural disasters.
Yeah.
San Andreas, 2012, and all that rubbish. I mean, they're decent. They're easy to watch. They are.
They're films you see at the cinema and probably never watch again.
I'm at a point now where whenever I see a film go down that route of mass disaster, I'm like, oh, I've seen you turf cities in the air like they're nothing before now. But this is slightly different, isn't it? Because it seems to be that the cause of this, from what you can tell from a minute and a half of a trailer, is that it's man-made, that we have these satellites controlling the weather, and they, for some reason, are going to go wrong, whether that's intentional or not. And they whip the world into a frenzy, and it starts off like hurricanes and stuff like tsunamis, the classic tsunami. So I like that twist. That makes it a little different, but it does just look like every other disaster film, doesn't it?
I'll still see, I reckon. It's one of them, isn't it?
Gerard Butler. It could be anyone. It doesn't have to be him.
No,
it's not that good anyway. You can just put anyone in that film. You just need someone who can run and look reasonably good doing it. Something's breaking. That's all it is, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so no one's that bothered about that one.
Nope.
Colossal. Is that 5th of May this year? Colossal?
Yes.
Interesting. I've not heard anything about it until now. You said you'd seen it.
I did watch a trailer.
There was a trailer last year, wasn't there? 2016.
I think
so, Colossal. Who wants to give me? You give me the
Sundance
rundown on what that is. What's Colossal, Carl?
Well, it's a story. Anne Hathaway. This is from what I'm gathering from the trailer. She's run down on her luck. She's kind of living on someone's floor. Things aren't going very well, and then she goes on this bender with a couple of friends. And then she wakes up the next morning, like she's got no recollection of what's going on. And she goes somewhere and she sees this big monster on the news. It's in Korea, I believe.
South Korea.
So
I've been there. So.
And he just sits there, standing there and doing nothing but walks every now and again. And then she realises that she's actually controlling this big, massive monster. And she's doing these dances, and the monster's doing the dances all the way over in Korea. And it's like, what's going on? It looks really good.
I hadn't heard nothing about it until you put this on the Talking Topics today.
Yeah. And
I watched the trailer and I'm up for it. I'm interested. I think it looks funny.
It looks different,
It's different. It's a comedy.
It reminds me of a comedy version of Cloverfield.
Okay.
Yeah, reminded me of Cloverfield.
Yeah.
Actually.
So Colossal, 5th of May. Happy with that one? Like the idea of that?
Yeah, I think I'm going to see that.
Hathaway controls a giant monster halfway around the world.
Yep.
Baby Driver. You put here sequel to Drive. I'm going to have to throw that out. I don't think it is.
I watched the trailer, but then I didn't watch it with audio. And it just reminded me of Drive in a way.
So it's kind of a getaway driver, romance comedy / action / kind of... I don't know what else you'd put in there as a
it reminded me, I can't think of the name now. What is the film where it was mostly British cast, like Colin Firth, where they're the agents and you get that kid off the street, Kingsman? That's what it reminded me of.
Service. There's a sequel to that.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, that's what it made me think of. Yeah.
I thought it looked really good, actually.
It does.
I don't know anything about
Edgar Wright's
very good cast.
Yeah, very good cast. I thought the lad playing Baby Driver, which actually is it's a character's name, isn't it, for anyone who's not seen it? Yeah, he's a driver and his name's Baby. So I thought that's quite bizarre but interesting. That's out in March, this March in the US.
Yeah, see, I was looking at this because we was putting...
Sundance Festival, isn't it? You said it was at?
No, this was something else. This was Texas. That was Colossal Sundance.
So August everywhere else.
Yeah.
Except for Kazakhstan, you've put here with many question marks.
This is going from IMDb. So yeah, it was March in the US and Kazakhstan, and August everywhere else. And I was looking at it thinking, okay, why so much of a gap? Is what I didn't get, but yeah.
It does happen though, doesn't it? I think there have been a few examples of that recently where there's been huge gaps between the US and us getting them. I don't know why. So Baby Driver, getaway car,
looks good.
Bit of love story, bit of comedy, looks good. And then the last one is a Disney Pixar latest film. It doesn't say when it's coming out, just coming soon. It's called Coco. And in the trailer, at least, it seems to be Mexican themed. Spanish, Mexican kind of.
Yeah.
I think it's Mexican, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
It looks
so.
like all the Day of the Dead, doesn't it, and all that kind of celebration. If you ever played a game called Grim Fandango, it looks an awful lot like that. And it has a young boy playing guitar, teaching himself guitar, while watching old videos of some sort of celebrity guitar player that he likes. And then mentioning whether he's a relation. And then he seeks out his actual guitar, and then it somehow teleports him into another world, which seems quite strange. Doesn't really tell us more than that. It looks bright and colourful as you'd expect.
Yeah.
It would probably be good. Most Disney Pixar films are.
True.
Although I've never seen The Good Dinosaur. That was their one flop, wasn't it, recently? But I'd like to watch it. So Coco, what do we think?
What was the one with the Rock? Was that? No, it wasn't.
Moana.
Pixar.
That did well. Yeah, that was Disney Pixar.
Was that
did
Pixar as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Not watched that yet.
Yeah, no, apparently it's very good. I do want to see that, even though it's a kids' film. But I've got an excuse. So it's fine.
You have.
Coco, any interest?
I think I'll wait to see the reviews. I haven't been overly impressed by the more recent Pixars, apart from Inside Out. That was all right. But yeah, but if it gets good reviews, I'll go see it.
Fair.
I'm fickle.
I'll probably wait as well.
Bandwagon.
Yeah, I'm not
Then it
sure.
would depend on what's out that week.
I'm not sure if I'll be going to the cinema to see it unless it receives rave reviews. But that's probably fair of most Disney Pixar films at the moment. Because I know it's going to come a point in the very near future where I'll be doing that an awful lot.
Exactly,
So,
mandatory. Yeah.
I'll have no choice. So if we were going to rate those on based on excitement, we've got 5 there, so let's put them in order. Least excited about Carl. Go top to bottom. Bottom to top.
Least excited about probably Coco.
Bloody hell, Trump GeoStorm.
Yeah, but only because, like Chris said, it's one that you'll probably will
Popcorn
go to
film.
and see just to watch all these people die.
I feel like GeoStorm's probably one of those films you'd have to watch at the cinema to get the best of.
Oh yeah.
It's not going to do it on your home TV, is
No.
it? Okay, so Coco,
Then GeoStorm,
GeoStorm.
and then
I can't argue that so far.
Baby Driver, then Colossal and Deadpool.
I'd be the same except Baby Driver and Colossal the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I
kind of
echo Chris and I'd
But
swap them
other than
around.
that, yeah.
Deadpool sits top for me all the way along.
Yeah.
No question. Brilliant. Okay, great stuff. So I think, again, throw it out to anyone watching or listening. If you want to get in touch, tell us what you think. You know how to do it now. bossbattlenetwork@gmail.com or bossbattlenet on Twitter. Or just leave us a comment if you're watching us on YouTube. Which
One of
hopefully this recording has worked and you will be.
Not one of them.
So, it's on...
two of them.
Yeah.
Two of them.
We're,
3 thumbs down, like I gave that review.
three thumbs down. We're entering quiz time. And it's our joint game first.
Yeah.
So let's
No,
play
it's not competitive.
our famous jingle. And work out how we awkwardly move to this on video.
I got 21 questions to go. I got 21 questions to go. If you're geeky and you know, in the pocket studio, I got 21 questions before I got to know. Is it video game or TV show? Is it movie or action hero? If you're geeky and you know, in the pocket studio, I got 21 questions before I got to know. 21 questions, top.
I think we're going to need to get him to record that and actually play the video segue for that. Next time Gaz is on, we'll get him to do it live.
He'll do a
And
dance.
We'll just
Yeah,
clip that out for every
fine.
episode we use it on. Okay, so 21 questions. It's a slight twist on 20 questions in order to sandwich in that awful theme tune.
Awesome theme tune.
Awesome theme tune. So don't look at my screen. It's probably the best way to say this because the answer is right there.
Okay.
Right before you. You've got 21 questions and your 21st question must be a guess. To work out
We
what it
definitely
is
got this.
that I've got on the list, you can only ask me yes or no questions.
Yep.
And I will do my best to answer them honestly. Who wants to start me off with your first question?
Shall we go with the fiction or non-fiction?
Why not?
Are you not going to establish the genre, the actual medium first?
What should we go first? Should we go? Is
Don't
it a
want to tell you how
person?
to
Is
play
it
your
a
game.
film?
Yeah, we could do. I've got a feeling because what have there been the last couple of weeks? Has been all been films,
We
haven't
had
they?
Batman and we
Batman
had,
Forever and
I can't even remember. Spider-Man, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Spider-Man was one.
so we've had a character in a film, and he's going to mix it up. So
Yeah. Could be Kong.
yeah, it could be. So it could be. So we've had character film. So it could be TV. No, actually, let's just try and go broad. And
So what should we say? Fiction. Or
is it a character? I guess.
Is it okay? Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a character?
No.
Okay, so it's broader than a personal character, so a movie or book or game. Not a book, sorry, movie or game. Maybe.
Yeah. Should we ask if it's a movie?
Go for it.
Is it a movie?
Yes.
There we go. This helps,
So-
doesn't it?
Should we ask if it's fiction or non-fiction?
Could do.
Is
Could
it
do.
fiction or non-fiction?
You got to ask it so he says yes or no. So if you just go,
Yes.
is it non-fiction?
No, either way, is it fiction?
Yes.
So
Okay,
does that mean it's made
that's
up?
not in Maple Leaf
For you
Carl.
guys.
You're assuming he's watching and not listening.
Fine, good stuff. So it's a fictional film.
Okay, let's try and work out when it was made, released.
Okay.
So, although it could, of course, have different versions, but we'll get to that later.
It was the 90s.
I know, yeah. So, was the film released after 1990?
Yes.
And then should we go backwards to try and narrow it to a decade?
Mm.
Was the film made after 2000?
No.
So it's 90 to 99.
And it's a film.
Maybe
Shall
try and
we
get
go for
genre.
Yeah. Which genre shall we go for? And remember your microphone.
He's actually better there than he was right close to be honest.
Especially when I'm making jokes.
Might have some peaking audio throughout this. Apologies if you're listening.
We
We need a background music for this.
If you're
When-
watching, I hope
when-
you can
yeah.
read lips.
When you guys start thinking, we need like background music. I've got that somewhere. I should have it, shouldn't I? Just faintly playing in the background. I'm not
Should
gonna
we
sing
say
it.
adventure film? Or is that a bit too broad?
I don't know.
Well, you could say action, that's probably just as broad.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe do we try and get like, if it's a male, no, it's mostly going to be a male lead in it, a 90s film. Yeah. Maybe genre then. Okay, so,
You only spent 5 so far. You all right?
Yeah,
You've got another
that's
15
true.
questions
Okay,
we've got to guess.
is the film a comedy?
No.
Okay. Just roll some more.
Is the
Go that way.
film an action film?
Yes.
Okay.
Action 90s, non-fiction, fiction.
Action nice, that's a lot of films.
It is, yeah. Okay,
Let me get my
is the film based on...
Are you asking the question or are we discussing this first?
I was going to ask if it's a comic book, so that rules out loads of films then, doesn't it? If
Not
it's
really,
more of a
'cause there
because then it's a
aren't that many
traditional
from the 90s.
action film, isn't it?
There wasn't that many from the 90s if you remember.
I suppose if the
Yeah,
answer is
that's
yes,
the
it
one.
narrows it down. If the answer is no, it maybe doesn't.
Yeah, go on then, ask it. Go on.
Yeah. What is the film based on comic book?
Nah, I don't think I can answer that without
Okay,
misleading
fine.
you. So I'm going to say I can't answer that.
I think we
Give
need
you
to.
that back.
I think we need to get close to the lead. Assuming it's male. Let's find out if it's
I
male.
will clarify why at the end I don't feel I can answer that.
Is the lead character male?
Yes.
Okay, so I think we need to try and get close to the type of actor. So if it was a muscle type person, that's still over. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean? 90s with a lot of that. So would you classify?
Well, hang on, should we find out if it's going to have sequels?
Yeah,
'Cause
good
that's
question.
always
Good
been a good one,
question.
hasn't
Yeah.
Has this film... yes, I'm definitely asking this question now. Has this film ever had a sequel?
Yes.
That sounds very ambiguous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it spin-offs rather than sequels? Then
I'm fairly certain it's had a sequel. But I don't know that you do like.
So if he's not sure it's had a sequel, you can rule out Die Hard, you can rule out Terminator, because he knows there's definitely had sequels. You can rule out Indiana Jones. There's probably some more there you can rule out.
But for example, a film like Predator had a largely unknown sequel because it didn't have Arnie in it.
Yeah, I had Danny Glover in.
Yeah. So
I would-
Still,
if-
it's still had a sequel.
Let me give you.
Yeah.
Let me give you this.
Yeah, but
if
it's not
this
the
helps
well-known,
guide
is
you,
it?
Then, had you asked if it was that film, I would have absolutely said yes. As a sequel.
Oh, okay.
To me, that's. I mean, obviously, you think with your AVP, you've got AVP 2 and
Yeah.
Predators. I'd have nailed on giving you that one. I've picked one here that's a slightly more awkward one than normal to try and make it a little. I want to try and beat you without being really like. I haven't been ridiculously angry.
90s
I think we
Film,
need to try
fiction,
and locate
with
the
a male.
actor, maybe.
Yeah,
So
male-
we've got a
the
few
actor.
questions there. So
There are
we'll
there
just
are
have-
there are a set of questions that if you were to go down a certain line, you'll absolutely nail it. But if you don't find that line, you might not find it.
Right. I'll adjust myself in my hot seat. I was going to say, is the male actor Chris? Would he be known for an action role?
Is it his main genre? That's a good question. Yeah.
but then it doesn't really narrow it down if it's not, does it really?
Could it be something like a Bond? Did we ask about? Well, we did see.
We did try Bond before, but it was Batman, wasn't it? So we did come across those. And that could be the ambiguous sequel. Because it would have a sequel, but then kind of doesn't. Because they're not really sequels in a way. Obviously, the new Bonds are, but the old Bonds won't. We established it was an action, wasn't it?
Yeah. Action, 90s, non-fiction, nothing to do with...
No, fiction, not
nothing
non-fiction.
Nothing to do with
You're
comic
confusing.
book, was it?
No.
Nothing to do with comic books. Yeah, sorry, it's in fiction. Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe like an Armageddon, so we could ask if it's got space, but then there isn't really a lead actor there, is there? Sort of.
I think we asked what you said a minute ago. Is the lead actor, would you say they're most well known for action films or roles?
Choose your final wording carefully. Which one of those do you want me to answer? You use two. Do you want films or roles?
Well, they're the same thing, aren't they? You're an action role in an action film.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? No?
I'd like you to choose one so I can answer that correctly.
Films, go with films. That's
Yeah,
what we've
no,
gone
something
down.
action films.
Yes.
Okay, well that...
What are we up to? 10?
10.
Right.
So I'm resetting now so I close my hands again.
So if it's mostly well known for action films, you're thinking like
Bruce Willis,
Harrison Ford, Arnie,
yeah.
Stallone.
But then all of those people...
But then would you class someone on the random as Keanu? Because it could be something like Speed,
Yeah.
couldn't it? Because Keanu, you could say
Speed-
Matrix and Thingy,
Speed
maybe
had a
Point
sequel.
Break, that's all action, isn't it?
Speed had a sequel.
You did, yeah.
So a lot of those ones that
And
we're
the
going to be
Matrix
thinking of
did.
with Die Hard and whatnot.
Point Break could be the
I'm not trying
ambiguous
to lead
one,
you
was
back
that
towards
90s?
that particular film genre, but I did say yes to sequels, don't forget.
Yeah, true.
I did say yes to sequels. I didn't say no. I just went, yes.
So there has been sequels.
Yes. But it's not as straightforward.
Is the
as the examples you've
the
been
lead
giving.
actor American?
I'm going to say with 95% certainty, yes.
Oh, okay. I thought if it said no, that'd really help us. But no. Okay.
I like that question. So
Uh,
it's not Bond.
no, it can't be Snow American Bond. Yeah, at least that rules that out. So, known for action films, American.
And the film has had sequels.
Again, I'm 95% sure it's had sequels.
Yeah, okay. Do, 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 do. And the actor is well known for doing action films.
Yeah. That's what.
I don't want to mislead you with that one either. The answer is they are known for action films. I wouldn't say they are well known.
So maybe they're diverse in their what they act in. Well, that rules out
Or
Arnie
they're
and
just
Stallone,
not well
doesn't it?
known.
Yeah.
Or they're not. Okay.
I don't want to mislead you by you thinking that you're going to go down the route of rattling off someone's filmography. It's not like that.
So it could be
Already
something
giving
as
too much.
random as Seagal, that one on the boat, which had a sequel on the train.
Under Siege.
Yeah, could be something like that,
Great
couldn't
film,
it?
by the way.
Under
Yeah,
Siege one
both.
is, yeah, very good.
Even the one on the train was quite good.
We've got to get to the actor somehow, haven't we? But I'm trying to think how we.
Is that going to give you the answer?
Yeah, it probably
is there,
isn't,
is there,
okay.
is there
Maybe
another
not.
way around this?
Maybe
know.
we need to focus a bit more on the film. Like, yeah.
I'm glad to see that it served its purpose.
Does-
It's got you confused.
Well, yeah, we got really confused on the last one, but then it's kind of come
Yeah,
together. didn't
you
it?
come round towards
It's
the
just thinking of the right
No,
question.
that doesn't really help if we had an answer to it.
Speak out loud, Chris. What were you thinking?
I was going to say, is the film mostly set in America? But then if he says yes, so
Yeah.
most films are set in America, and he says no, well, there's loads of films where it's an action abroad, isn't it? Could be something like Mission Impossible. But then he just said don't necessarily focus on the actor, so...
Yeah.
Um,
And Tom Cruise is pretty much.
yeah, he's super, yeah. Yeah, I'm stumped. I'm like, where do we go from here to narrow it down?
So I'll give you a couple of questions you could think about. You don't know who this audience is suitable for. You're assuming action films
Or we
that
could
might be
ask-
15, 18. It
Yeah,
could
we
be
could
a
ask
PG for all
the-
you know.
That's a good
question.
yeah,
So-
good one.
There's things like
So we
that
ask
you could
if it was
use.
a 15.
Ask it.
Because in the 90s it would have been PG, UPG, 12, 15, 18, well, just 12, 15.
I think 12A was a 90s thing.
It wasn't.
No, I don't think so.
It wasn't PG.
Before I ask the question, this doesn't count as weird. Do you know the actual release year?
Yes.
Good, okay. That's not a question, by the way. But was it... Because I think that might help if we get... Well, will it...
Only because I've got IMDb open.
Will it... I don't know, actually.
Don't take them to
I feel like if I get really close to the year, I might get it, but then that's broad, isn't it? There's lots of films that come out.
Was the film a 18 rated film?
No.
So I think it's the opposite end of the spectrum now then. So maybe it was a U. Maybe it's like a...
No, I don't think an action film is really going to be a U because it's going to be
but it might be a
cartoon.
a sort of childlike one, yeah.
Shooting must be required to categorise a film as action.
Well, yeah, it does. I mean, if you shoot a gun, I
probably-
don't think you can have
Or
it as a
PG,
U, because U
It
is
could
like
be PG
Lady
or
and the
U,
Tramp.
couldn't it?
It could be a PG.
Those are all sorts of questions
Could be
you
a
can ask,
PG.
though, aren't you? You know, if you want to narrow down the action, what kind of action?
Well, we're
is
running
it?
out of questions fast.
You
though.
are
We've
running.
got-
You've got
9
8
left.
and a guess.
Yeah, 18
Yeah.
Audience?
Would you categorise the bad guy or guys in the film as human?
No.
Okay, then so it's like aliens or something like not human,
I like
like
that.
dinosaurs, aliens, something like that. Do you know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean?
Or robots?
Could be. That could be a question.
Oh, I don't think it needs to be a
No.
question. But what 90s film
Had
would
sequels.
the bad guys be? So,
Bad guys aren't human.
thinking Men in Black, that's obviously aliens. Bad guys
Oh,
are
it couldn't be
aliens.
Independence Day, could it?
Wow, yeah, because that had a sequel. So yeah, that
Yeah.
had a sequel. Men in Black obviously had a sequel. Other alien ones or robot ones.
Should we ask if it's aliens? No, maybe not.
Yeah, come on.
Are the bad guys aliens?
Yes.
I'm not going to ask this question. Are the bad guys aliens, but they dress up as humans?
So you've got
Should we
14
ask if
questions
this
so far.
if this film has had more than 2 sequels?
Yeah, because it would rule out Independence Day, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Has this film had more than 2 sequels? I think he's gone really obscure here just to win.
No. Yes.
It's had more than.
Yes, it has.
It's obviously not had more than 2 well-known sequels, so it can't be Men in Black. We already know that.
So that's 15 questions you've asked now. You've got
Jesus.
5 questions left and then a guess.
It's not
God,
aliens.
this is good
It's a
viewing,
male
this is.
lead.
And aliens is actually films. And he'd have known that anyway, so the fact that he had to look it up wouldn't have mattered.
But there's been so many different. You might have been thinking, yeah, it's not anyway. 'Cause
I'm
it's
not
a
playing
male
it. I'm not going to try and give you any sort of poker face kind of. I'll pretend to look something up that I know the answer to. If I don't know it, I'll look it up. If I know it, I'll answer.
So aliens that's had 3 films. Ooh, what about Mars Attacks? It's not Mars Attacks because I'm pretty sure that's never had 3 sequels. Or 2 sequels. Aliens from the 90s. Aliens.
So I think you've probably. Well, I'll review this while you're going. I think you burnt a few questions on things that where one question would have narrowed something down for you when you've asked 2 or 3 to get to that point. That would be for future games.
It's going to get close to giving up this at this rate, but we've got to use some more questions before we give up.
Yeah. So, do the aliens win? Obviously, the humans win. I don't remember any film that the aliens win, so that's probably a silly question. I was thinking.
I kind of see this particular round as an education for 21 questions in the future. So I think when you find out
2 rounds before.
if you don't guess it and you find out what it is, I think you'll be like, oh god, there were so many questions I could have asked to get to that.
Yeah. Should we try and
Brilliant
narrow
podcast.
down? Yeah. Riveting stuff.
Sorry to the listeners. If you're watching, at least you can see the guys looking confused. If you're listening,
Shall we
then
narrow
I'll just
down
talk to you.
who the main actor might be?
Got to try
I was
something.
thinking.
like
I was thinking Fifth Element, but we could narrow down Bruce Willis. But Fifth Element didn't have sequels.
that. Year release, you try and get there, whether it's before 95. I don't know. Then get to
Yeah,
the-
go on then.
Was the film released before 1995?
No.
Okay, so it's
So late
96 to
90s.
99. That's not really, is it?
Just to clarify, because people will be screaming at you for the headset, you asked before 95, and then went on to say it must be 96 to 99 then. Could be 95 to 99 if it's before 95.
Technically, yeah. Good point.
Just so as not to mislead you.
I don't think that would have made that much difference.
No, well, I'm just... Yeah. I don't want you to go... I'm trying to keep you on the straight and narrow. I'm not trying to beat you. I'm trying to make it challenging.
You succeeded.
So none of these are on here. They're definitely aliens, so it's not.
Watch the next episode of the podcast to understand why Carl has a random list of movies in his pockets. Come on, you got 4 questions left.
4 more questions. Okay, right. Let's narrow something down.
So what do you know about it at the moment?
We know it's an action film.
You know it's an action
fiction.
film released 95 or onwards, 95 to 99.
Yeah, it's got aliens in it. It's got a lead male in it.
Yeah.
It's got multiple sequels.
Multiple sequels. You know it's not an 18, but you didn't
quite
know any further than
obscure.
that.
I think it's not an 18. It's either going to be a PG or a 15. I'd imagine a PG. Oh.
What? Go on.
Starship Troopers. That had sequels, and it was quite obscure. It definitely had a second sequel, but it might have had a third.
And it definitely had
straight to
aliens.
DVD.
Why don't you ask if Casper Van Dien or whatever is the main actor? Whatever his name is.
Ooh.
That's him, isn't it?
I'm going to ask a really stupid question now.
Or ask if Denise Richards is in it. And then
This is going to be my question. Are there boobies in this film?
No.
Oh, it's not Starship Troopers.
I can't give a straight face whether it's good or bad.
I
I have a face that tells.
told a lie.
That's what it's
I
told.
didn't tell anything.
It looked like you were
Okay,
so
you
good.
got 3. I couldn't help it. You got 3 questions left,
And then I guess.
and then you've got to guess.
Okay, so it's not Starship Troopers. God damn it.
I think it's the other end of the spectrum, as in like it's like a PG or U. Something just makes it, but I don't think that's going to help us, even if we confirm that.
So even if you didn't narrow that down, what does that leave you with?
Well, if we knew that.
Well, working at that end, you haven't gone down that way yet. Everything you've done has been fairly adult in theme.
I can't really think of any non-adulty theme aliens.
Because it's not Toy Story. They're the aliens in that are nice. The claw.
The claw.
E.T. wasn't 90s, was it?
80s.
Pretty sure I thought it was. I'd have seen it on my 90s searches. Audience? No. No one there. Literally.
I'm going to have to push you soon because
I'm
this has
willing. I'm
taken
willing to
you
give up at
already
this point.
far
I
too
don't
long.
know. I haven't got a clue. I don't even know how we can narrow it from where we are. I feel like we've
Well,
just
I'm
gone.
going to ask Google. I don't know if that's
What are you gonna
considered
ask it?
cheating.
Well, at this point, you're not going to get it. So if you find it via the
I'm
power
gonna
of
say-
Google, then fair play to you, but you won't win.
No.
You'll have been beaten. You can jack it in at this point. You've got 3 questions left.
I'm
to try
willing
and
to
narrow
quit,
it.
Carl.
Well, no, we might as well ask a question then. All right, I'm not going to use Google. I'm going to put that down.
Carl's a fighter. He wants to go right to the end, Chris.
If you get it, I'll be very impressed, by the way.
Come on. It's a podcast. People are listening to this. They might have given up by now, but they're probably screaming the answer on their commute or
They might be, yeah.
hoovering the house, listening to us. They're screaming away.
Do the aliens in this film speak English?
Yes.
It's a good question, actually.
So you have 2 questions
So
left.
could it be something like Star? No, not Star Wars. Isn't really alien bad guys, is it?
Not 90s either.
No, you got the
Well,
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace was. But even
99.
knowing that, I've had a third sequel.
Yeah, true.
You will kick yourself when you find out what it is.
Probably.
So it's one we definitely know and probably like.
That's another an area of question you haven't gone down is Is it good?
Was
Was it critically received? Or is it crap?
Okay, yeah. Was the film well received?
No.
No.
One last question.
Oh.
An alien film that wasn't well received. That's got sequels.
Come on, boys. One last question, and then you've got to guess it.
It could be the Men in Black sequels. The first one was like the sequels were panned, weren't they?
I think the second Men in Black wasn't until after the millennium anyway.
Oh,
So it would have been 90s.
Not this question would be the question you'd want to ask as your last question, but you also never narrowed down whether it was the first in the sequence or
No, we didn't.
whether it was indeed a sequel.
Well,
I'll give you a free one. I'll give you a free one. It's not a sequel.
No,
That's fair.
it's
This
gonna
is
be
the
first.
original
I'd
in
guess
its.
And
in
it
its
wasn't
film
well
order.
received, but it still had sequels. So,
It's going to have had a decent budget then, effectively. So it's going to be. Alien film.
So there's a whole range of questions that you could have thought about, and you've got
Well, you can tell us how.
you've got sort of
Tell us what it
music,
is.
you've got other forms of media that it might be in. There's all sorts of different things you could ask. One last question, come on. I'm
Think
going
of
to
a
push you
question,
now.
Chris. Just go for one more question. Just.
oh,
back
so we've
it
got
up.
one more quick. Sorry, I thought
One
we were
question to
gonna
burn,
guess,
then
Dave.
you've got to guess, yeah.
I think he's got us on this one.
So do I.
Oh, yeah.
Is the lead actor still clearly and visibly in films today, like current day?
No,
Don't know if that helps. He might be dead.
Well,
he ain't dead.
Okay, there we go.
That's a free one. So you've got to guess now. Come on, you've had you. So what do you know? Recap and give me, throw a film my way.
I'll tell you what I don't know. I don't know what it is.
No? You will kick yourself when I tell you. I also can't guarantee you've all seen it.
Films. Also, come on.
I can't guarantee you've all seen it, but you'll all know about it.
A film with aliens.
So maybe it's really well known for like
Winning raspberries and stuff. You know, worst film of the year type. Is it Razzie? You know, what I'm on about.
But it's got to have done okay for there to be.
It was probably one that
Three
made money at the
movies.
box office, but was known to be crap. And then because it made money, they just did commission seat.
Throw me a guess then, come on. We've taken what was
it's Blind's blank. I don't
Mine's
know.
blank.
Carl.
concede.
Yes.
So, unlucky. It was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie.
I never got that, to be honest.
Lord, it's the bloke who looks a bit like Apocalypse from the Days of Future Past was the bad guy. The main actor, there was more than one, but the lead guy was the guy who played the Red Ranger from the TV series. All of them were the TV series actors, which is why I said don't get hung up on the actor. It had a load of sequels you'll have never seen. So there was Power Rangers Turbo the movie, Power Rangers Zeo the movie, Power Rangers, what was the next one? It's in space. There's a whole load of different things in here that follow on. And of course the latest one that hasn't come out yet. So that's why I kind of ummed and ahed at first. So I wasn't 100% sure what had gone before it, but then I looked. There was a lot.
Oh, no, I got that anyway.
If you'd have gone down the route of asking things like maybe a theme tune, so
I've
is it a
never
famous
think
theme
to
tune?
ask
I
that.
would never have
No,
gone.
no,
that.
but that's what I'm saying. That's why I think this was to me was like a 21 questions education. You know, if you'd gone down the route of a famous music track, or does it have a TV? Was there a TV spin-off? Was it born from TV? You know, there are also different questions you can ask to try and work around the subject.
Okay.
So it was given a 5.1 on IMDb. Well, it's still relevant though.
Well, that's because I watched. Like I said to you the other day, that Twitch are streaming these.
So
Power
you're well aware
Rangers.
of Power Rangers, and it was in your mind.
Well, not really, because I watched it. I was like, oh my god, this is bad.
Yeah. Action, adventure, family classed as it was a PG, which is why I was trying to drive you back down that route. To think more along the lines of
You
sort of
wouldn't have
kids'
had-
films.
That was.
And-
I could
nowhere
have had
near
40
even-
questions, wouldn't have
Yeah.
got that.
Fair enough. Okay, look. So
Very challenging. fair
that was
play.
21 questions. My first victory. Yay for the video. I don't try to beat you. In all sense, I try and pick things I think you'll get to. I think if you'd gone the right way with the questions, you would have got to it.
No.
Even if you didn't know the full name, but you'd have known of a Power Rangers movie that you knew it existed.
Yeah.
White Ranger, man. Right. If you don't know that film existed, you might have some troubles with the quiz later on. So,
Oh, great.
Get your phones. Well, you don't need your phones for this bit, so it's keyword countdown first of all.
yeah.
Before we get on to that, if anyone listening or watching wants to submit a 21 questions question for the boys, then you're welcome to do so. Then I don't have to make
Not
it up
one
and get
like
the
that.
stick for not getting it right. It can be a movie, a character, a game, a TV program. We'll accept any of those. So send them in to bossbattlenetwork@gmail.com and we'll pick them up from there. So on to our quiz then. This is the competitive side of things. So run down the current scores. Carl is in the lead with 59 points. Chris, you are behind on 39 points. And Adam and Gareth, for what it's worth, are on 14 points apiece, but rather irrelevant. So it's a 20-point gap, easily made up in one round there with a good keyword countdown.
Magic.
So, are you ready for movie number one?
Yep.
And so for keyword countdown, for anyone who's watching, I'm going to read 10 keywords from IMDb's list of keywords on a particular film. In theory, I've gone from more obscure through to more obvious, but as we found in past weeks, you've managed to get them off what I thought were the obscure answers. Once you've guessed the movie, I'll then ask you to have a guess at what IMDb's current score for that film is, and the closest one, if you're within half a point, will get a bonus point. And there is a theme underlying them all. So movie number one. Rescue.
Die Hard.
Danger.
San Andreas.
It is San Andreas.
God, that is ridiculous that you got that from two.
I'm thinking.
You
GeoStorm, I'm
know him
thinking
far
natural
too well.
disasters.
You know him far too well. It's like you read his mind. What would he go for?
So the other ones on that one, you're right. Rescue, danger, Hollywood sign, capsizing ship, damsel in distress, child in peril, speedboat drowning, tsunami, earthquake. So San Andreas. Carl, you got it guessed, so you get to give the first guess of the score. What is it currently sitting at on IMDb?
6.8.
6.8. Chris, what do you think?
Okay, 6.4.
You are correct. Not bang on the nail, but you get the answer. 6.1. So the bonus point is yours. So you're not all that bad. You get 9 points, you got 1. Right then. Movie number 2. Divorce.
Miss Doubtfire.
Competition. Car inside a house.
Transformers.
Oklahoma. Team.
Team America.
How does that fit with divorce, competition, car inside a house, and Oklahoma? Scientific data. Saving a dog.
Iron Man?
No.
I'm the car inside the house.
Divorce. So,
Independent? No.
weather
no.
observation.
Twister.
Twister. Hooray.
Oh, you know when we were
points.
talking about the actor that was in that died recently? That was
Bill
probably
Paxton.
yeah, that was probably my favourite film that he was in.
What did it
I
get?
think
What did IMDb think of that?
7.
7. Chris?
6.5.
It's your point again, 6.3.
Yay.
IMDb don't like disaster movies. Right.
What's wrong with you, IMDb?
On to movie number 3. Are you ready?
I'm sensing a theme already.
So get your thinking caps on then.
Yeah.
US Mexico border.
Armageddon.
I just said Armageddon.
Oh, did you? I didn't hear. No. Okay.
Scotland. Greenhouse effect.
Oh crap!
Independence Day, day after
No.
tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow.
That's what I was
Well
thinking.
done.
Damn it.
So 8 points for you there, Chris.
Doesn't make a difference. I'm still far too behind. now.
I'm going to guess a theme. It's natural disasters or disaster films. That's the theme.
Chris,
Disaster.
what's your thinking for
Day
the
after
score?
Tomorrow. 5.8.
5.8.
5.
Ooh, you both went far too low. 6.4.
Oh, okay.
The highest of the three, ironically. And the theme, Chris, would you have got that theme?
I think everyone in the world would have
I
got
will
that
give you.
theme.
I will give you generously both a bonus point.
No, I'd just give Carly. Got it like after question 1, didn't he? Pretty
Yeah,
much.
to be fair.
Oh, I've given you both ones. I should have. Right,
That's fine.
phones at the ready. It's the multiple choice bit now.
Okay.
About
Chance to
Power
redeem
Rangers.
yourself, Chris.
Yep.
The theme is Power Rangers.
Oh, Christ.
So, question number 1 is your television. What were the names of the high school knuckleheads from the original Power Rangers movie? Power Rangers TV series who attended Angel Grove High with the Rangers?
I probably should have watched the Twitch streams of Power Rangers a bit more.
You should have. Was it A?
I did watch a little bit.
I wrote this before that Twitch stream was announced. But
Really?
so in my defence, was it A, Crab and Goyle? Was it B, Griff and Biff? C, Dag and Norb? Or D, Bulk and Skull?
See, I know that because I do remember that bit.
Everyone got an answer, or do you want to hear it again?
No,
got
Got an answer. Question number 2 is your movie question. In the 1995 Power Rangers movie, the Rangers lose their powers and have to get new ones. What is the name of the ancient power that they have to acquire? Any guesses? Is it A, Ninjetti? Is it B, Ninjago? Is it C, Ninja Zords? Or is it D, Ninjaro? So is it Ninjetti, Ninjago, Ninja Zord, or Ninjaro?
Can
Well,
I
you've
ask
got
you
to
to
guess.
say that again?
Which one?
No, I'm joking. Just because it
No,
would
go on,
be
say it
really
again.
Ninjetti,
brilliant.
Ninjago, Ninja Zords, or Ninjaro? Everyone got a guess?
Yeah.
I don't speak
And number 3
Yep.
is gaming. The original Power Rangers video game came to consoles and handheld in 1995. Which of the following did it not come to? Super Nintendo, the Mega Drive, the Game Gear, or the Game Boy Advance? So the original Power Rangers video game came to consoles and handhelds in 1995. Which of the following did it not come to? The Super Nintendo, the Mega Drive, the Game Gear, or the Game Boy Advance? Have you got answers for all 3 questions?
Yep.
Chris, I'm coming to you on question 1. What were the name of the knuckleheads the Power Rangers went to school with?
I've gone for Crab and... Was it Boyle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crab and Goyle.
Goyle, sorry.
A.
Yeah, A, basically.
So Draco's buddies from Harry
yeah.
Potter.
Yeah.
Not that one. Bulk and Skull was the correct answer. Crab and Goyle was the 2 that Draco walks around with. in Hogwarts.
Right, yeah.
I put that in on purpose
I
to try
wasn't
and catch
listening
you
that
out.
well on when I was watching it because they were actually in it towards the end because apparently they always get
Yeah,
stuff
it's
dumped on them.
Bulk and Skull. Yeah, they're always
Okay,
they're
I
always the
was-
ones
I
that fall
wasn't.
foul.
Damn.
So in that case, I thought when you said you got that one, you were confident.
And
so
me,
clearly
yeah.
not.
I was, but I obviously wasn't listening that well.
Question 2 was the movie question. What was the name of the powers, the ancient powers they had to acquire at the end of the film? Was it Ninjetti, Ninjago, Ninja Zords, or Ninjaro? That's just for you because you find it so funny. Carl,
Ninjaro.
Ninjaro.
D.
Also at Ninjaro.
It's Ninjetti. So you're wrong. And number
Ninjaro's
3
better.
was the gaming question. So the original Power Rangers video game, well, Ninjago is the Lego ninja stuff they make. And Ninja Zords, I think, were what they actually called the ninjas with the Zords that came out, but that wasn't the name of the
That's
power.
that.
Question 3 was the game consoles and handhelds for the original Power Rangers game. Which one did it not come to? Chris.
I went Game Boy Advance.
Okay.
I went Game Boy Advance, but then I changed it to Game Gear.
You were wrong to change it to Game Gear. It was Game Boy Advance. The other 3 were correct, and it was Game Boy at the time. So I did that to try and throw you off, and it worked. Nice one. So 1 point for you, Chris, there, and 2 for Carl. So actually, the gap is only opened up by a single point. No, what was it? 20 points behind
He was
before?
20 before.
Yeah, 72 for Carl, 51 for you, Chris.
Oh, fair enough.
So, and obviously Adam.
I got 21 points to go. I got 21.
I realise we forgot to play the theme tune for quiz time, so Gaz will be upset when he listens to this back. But
Fine, though.
should we play it now?
Yeah.
It's quiz time!
Or it was.
Quiz time.
It was quiz time.
Brilliant. So that brings our podcast to an end. We've managed, despite our attempts to make a short one, we've still gone for an hour and a half. So hopefully you've stuck with us that long. If
Maybe
you have,
we just keep
well
them at that
done.
length.
we keep
Probably
trying.
spend half an hour of silence doing 21 questions.
We keep trying. Well, that did take 20 odd minutes. We keep trying to bring them down, but we fail. So let's wrap it up there then, boys, I think.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. So we would love it if you could leave us some feedback, preferably good.
Not
but bad is
abusive.
not abusive. You can leave comments on YouTube. You can email us at bossbattlenetwork@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at bossbattlenet. So, Carl, thank you very much for your time. Chris,
welcome,
thank you for
James.
your time.
Pleasure.
My name's James. This is the Boss Battle Podcast, and that's it. We're out. Thanks very much.
Bye.
So cringe. Picking your choice of shows to play takes everything you got. With Amazon Prime, Sky, and Netflix, there sure is a lot. Wouldn't you like some tips and hints? Sometimes you wanna know which are the best in shows and games, and the ones that are just lame. You need to hear some real views that are no holds barred, not tame. You just need Gas, Carl, Chris, Adam, and James.